Sang, and I'm the CEO of NOREB, if I think everyone knows me here. So first of all, I'd like to welcome kila mtu to Uasin Gishu County and to NOREB more broadly. I'll just jump straight into why we had this meeting in the interest of time. We had organized a meeting in West Pokot. We had different partners, and this was part of our effort for climate change in the region. What we're finding is that there is a lot of people who are doing different components of climate change, and everyone is really putting their effort. We thought that if we bring together all our efforts, it will be much better. So the first priority of this meeting is for us to just understand who is doing what. And then at the meeting that we were to have in West Pokot, we were to focus on creating a working group that would have the different. We have a lot of expertise. There are people who are sitting in government, sitting in different organizations, but everyone is doing their things. So we thought we would have this. So, Your Excellency, asante sana for hosting us. Here's the different experts here. So instead of me going on and on, I'd rather we go around the table. Yeah. We introduce everyone.
I'll start with myself. So I'm Engineer John Bararot, Deputy Governor of Uasin Gishu. You're welcome to Uasin Gishu anytime. You know, when you look at NOREB, we're talking about 8 counties. But especially with issues around climate change, most of those issues actually are not, they don't know some of these boundaries. So it is good to have. And now that we have our CEO from NOREB, times have a line. Only when you discuss and know that you can align. You cannot align what you don't know that is going on. So I think, as you said, Bwana Chesang, let's do the introduction up. So start with Madam CEO.
Your Excellency, Deputy Governor, and everyone present. Good morning. My name is Mary Kerich. I'm the Chief Officer, Energy, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources in Uasin Gishu County. Welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sally Wodi, Executive Director at Rural Women Peace Link.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Grace Rogut, the Regional Manager, NCCK North Rift Region.
All protocols observed. My name is Leah Kimotho. I work for the National Council of Churches of Kenya, coordinating programs in climate change.
My name is Winnie Kanda. I'm the Gender Advisor in the Office of the Governor, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Happy to be here today. Thank you.
Peace Link. Thank you. Peace Link. Okay, all protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Olga Mutoro. I'm from a program called Gender. Thank you.
All protocol observed. Good morning. My name is Gladys from NOREB in charge of tourism.
Good morning. All protocols observed. My name is Abigail Kosgei from NOREB under Finance, Administrative as well as Gender Department.
Good morning. I'm Sam Major from NCCK. Sam Major.
And finally, Your Excellency, my name is Silas Tarus from NOREB Secretariat. I'm in charge of people. Okay. Yes, sir. No. I'm also in charge of communication here in Uasin Gishu County, and also seconded. I'm not fully in in ICT. Thank you.
Church prison, not in the public sector. I'm really out as I listen to all of us to see who are represented. So karibuni sana. Bwana Chesang, how do you want us to?
Yes, so I thought to welcome CEO So he will join us and then we can introduce. So with your permission, allow me to karibisha.
For those who don't know,
So thank you. Okay, this one is easier. Okay, thank you, CEO. Thank you. To first of all give the apologies from Waziri, Dr. He got a commitment somewhere. Secondly, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you to Uasin County. And I'm excited that we are talking about climate change and the mood that is there right now all over about the climate change is so positive because the impacts of climate change has impacted almost everybody, not almost, say everybody. So it is no longer a story, it is something that is real, it is something that we are living in. And I'm particularly excited that the church is taking the lead. Personally, in my church, Anglican Church, we have Green Anglican Movement, and they are doing a lot of things regarding mitigation of climate change impacts. So,
is NCCK Anglican?
Anglican is part of NCCK. Yes.
I know. It's a conglomeration of many churches, right?
Yes.
So don't own it as a way. One
So thank you so much. NOREP, as a block, as there are so many players in the field, and sometimes you find that there are things that maybe if you were to do them, you realize that we cannot mitigate climate change unless we actually have water. Because when we talk about planting of trees and improving the life to actually achieve big results. But if all of us...
As you were speaking, Wanabiwat came in. Wanabiwat, you want to introduce yourself? We had introduced you in absentia. Give him the microphone. So you may not have large insecurity issues, say, in part of NOREP, but it affects us. Whether we like it or not, it is... In fact, even when you go to... So you see, we are so connected. And then when you look at the communities or people who live in all these 8 counties, we are so interconnected. So really, some will finalize with the assemblies, then it will be anchored in law. Then it will be even a lot easier to do things actually. You will be dealing with the one body on behalf of all of us instead of looking at here. And they have gone to Siwa to launch the maize drying. We have had a very good harvest, but now we are being caught up with these climate change issues because the morning, and I was telling him that as we put this initiative of drying maize, the farmers tend to be what? That's what they do, they store. So I was telling them we also need to see how can we intervene to make sure that the ones even in their stores are dried. Let me share this a bit. During my days when I was in secondary school, when we closed for first term, ilikuwa ukifika tu nyumbani and seeing how to assist society. But like now for us in Uasin Gishu, this issue about El Nino, we've actually been telling our farmers them to plant sunflower or maragwe or peas or those kind of things. But I think things have changed. Coming back to the issue of, we had Ole Sabit here, very smart to field questions directly. You know, normally politicians, we will do it like any other day, but now he was able to just say, okay, ask any question that the church really plays in our country, and we recognize all our churches. In Uasin Gishu, as we focus, we deal with all our. Let me allow the CEO from Elgeyo Marakwet to make a few comments now. Can we request the leads, actually, if we can give some of the things that they do? The CEO from Elgeyo Marakwet.
Thank you very much. Am I audible? Thank you very much. them, and it is aggravating poverty. And as people become poor, they will try any means to survive. So, and you know, our North Rift region of proliferation of small arms, not in other place, but the North Rift, the number of guns we have is alarming. So unless we put ourselves into groups, into this kind of arrangement, we may not manage it. But I want to say, coming together as NOREP problem. For our case, we are in the right direction. I pray that the county assemblies pass it, it becomes law, we anchor into law. We will do enormous things, enormous activities as a group, other than every county doing their own things. So I want to say, this is the right meeting, this is the right the politicians, because there is a lot of political goodwill in this, and once we are there, you know, like those guys affected by banditry, cattle rustling, Nandi is far, Uasin Gishu is far. It's not true. It's not true. When those guys get problems, we get problems here. You spill to towns. I was telling Jasang in Nairobi, they are really daring. If we are not careful, and I want to say this without fearing, if we are not careful as a country, this thing can turn to a militia. 20 of them can capture this town. 20 of them. I don't know how daring they are, how hardened they are, how they are marginalized, how they are expressing bitterness, coupled with unemployment, poverty, and all those things. It ended Rivaro story. It was real. It was real drama, real. The DCI was there, the police officers were there, but they were able to go. They released their own. That direction, an individual county cannot manage it. So otherwise, I want to thank you for this meeting. Thank you, Panasio, because you are very passionate about this. And Banabramo. Secondly, there is something we need to come. The other day, I had a meeting with the Peace Actors Forum, where we want to collaborate. Those guys doing peace, the Peace Link, the Infant, doing the same thing in the same area, all of us. It's good we put together our resources and then we do it in a better way, or we zone the region. We zone the region. I was taking like this banditry issue in this region. We can partition, like I am an historian. I saw when the Europeans came here, they petitioned us to partition the conflict regions, corridors, so that everybody takes a ward or a location. Every church, if you send CCK, take your location, put your church, put a school, educate children, so that we get rid of illiteracy. Otherwise, that is a direction I'm taking. Personally, if I had resources and I had power, I would do it.
Which we have put resources actually as a county. But just to add to what Mutual just said, in the last 3 months, for your information, one of our, you know about the dosas?
Personally, because it is not easy for these friends from this side to go interior. So I had to be there personally to oversee that. Thank you so much.
Together, Panachesang, I know it's a question of time before you are legally formed as NOREP. I look forward that in the next coming funding that they get from the national government, when we come here, you really wonder, like, what is it that we don't know? What is it that we don't know? When you talk to these guys from Wajir, actually, yeah, because when we were doing from COG was Abdullahi, His Excellency Abdullahi. So we spent a lot of time with him here because I was dealing with the coordination here on the ground. And you know what I have done? Schools. If you map schools, you will be shocked. It is like we are covering our heads in sand. You know the way the ostrich does. Yet we have not.
Thank you very much. So we are a peace and security program, and we are actually funded by FCDO, policing. So under policing, we are looking at policing, supporting the police reforms that are ongoing in the country. Our locations, we work in Upper Eastern region, Northeastern, and here we look at Rift and West region. So basically supporting the NOREB, supporting initiatives in Baringo, Nakuru. So in terms of climate change, our focus has been mainly, of course, climate security, as my counterpart from Elgeyo Marakwet, yes, has mentioned. These areas you find it's really dangerous, mentioned. These areas you find it's really dangerous for the men who are grazing the animals, and this is when we usually have incidences of banditry attacks and then retaliatory attacks, and trying as much as possible to recover the livestock that communities lost during these adverse weather effects. And then, of course, there's also the question of addressing the conflict issues that are affecting respective regions. And we've been able to come up with very many strategies and mitigation measures, at strategies such as dry spell grazing plans, keeping manageable number of stocks, agro-pastoralism, hay production, and community-level controlled grazing. Some time back, we also supporting this multi-sectoral engagement in climate change. As I mentioned, we do work a lot with the national government structures. For our program, we are fortunate enough to have...
When we are budgeting, when we go to the public, say in Uasin Gishu County, because I've really participated in this, when you go to the public participation, having meetings in town halls, instead of really going into getting the people who, yes, grassroots, how do we really, this is a general comment for all of us, that budgeted some projects and left another part. Now they come for a fight, and they come in huge numbers. So you wonder, how will we encourage, how will we really get the real reaching to where the shoe hurts? So it's not really particular about you, it's more of a general comment.
Your Excellency, I got the votes. I didn't get the seat. It's possible in Kenya to get the votes, all of them, and miss the seat, yeah. That is the position.
Presbyterians, Methodists, PEFA, KAG, Full Gospel, Salvation, and we could go on and on until 32, and on until 32. The denominations, So they've come together to the denominations, So they've come together to do common action, things that they are better. All the interventions around ethical governance. We must have been together, but in different sections, sure that we just want the country to remain together, regardless of what the negotiations will avail. So that's governance, peace, and security. The third one, we must have been together, but in different sections, sure that we just want the country to remain health. We have a lot of advocacy work that we do with education and health because of the number of schools and hospitals that are sponsored by NCSK member churches. And you remember when there was this campaign for the new education system, there was a big headache about where to take the junior secondary schools and where to house them. And we pitched a national campaign and eventually won by saying we had more infrastructure in primary schools and not in secondary schools. And so that calmed the country, and we are happy that we made that contribution as one of our advocacy agendas. The next one, which is why we are here, is climate change, food security, and natural resource management. Now, this, we about it, but it is what brings us to NOREB, actually. And maybe let me speak about the last one, then I come back to climate change and natural resource management. The last one is refugee work and natural resource management, and that's where our relationship with NOREB began. and please allow me to use this sentence, that the relationship between NCCK and NOREB, and from then on, we can only talk about that. She's laughing because it is true. So we began by this best way of sharing Kerio, the resources along Kerio. With all its challenges, it has a lot of opportunities. So the initial COC only involved Baringo, West Pokot, and system. So it's an ecosystem kind of approach programming, different counties coming together to talk about the thing that was bringing us together is the river. So we began with Baringo, West Pokot, and Elgeyo Marakwet. Then somewhere towards the end of the process, there was a guy who used to work with FCDO who was based in Lodwar, Turkana, and he called us for a meeting and said, you people talk about the river. But Turkana is not part of this. Why is Turkana left out? It was a big question in a big meeting. We didn't have an answer, but at least the partner who was supporting us was in that meeting, so he explained that because of money, said, no, you cannot say this project cannot be complete without Turkana. So we added COC 2, which we call COC Phase 2. So now we brought back all the other counties and then brought Turkana on board, and all of them signed a cooperation agreement, which is what brings us more close to the current leadership of NOREB, because we would like to continue discussions about a COC Phase 3. Because we did what we did at that time, all the counties agreed to sign to a cooperation agreement that allows for some structures and some processes. Some counties are adhering, others not yet, and they will be encouraged, because it's a cooperation agreement that people willingly need, so that we are fair, and then we can conclude. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. On the climate change and natural resource management department or thematic area, in the NOREB we have 2 projects that are currently ongoing, and they all build from the COC. They actually are children of the COC, the project that we started as COC. One is in Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo, and we call it Uwajibikaji na Maendeleo, so accountability for development, and the other one is in Turkana. Yes. Yes, actually yes. So maybe I need to mention that why the 2 currently is that after the COC, we got another fund, Ugatuzi na Haki 1, 2, and 3. That is in 2020, 2021, and 2022, which I think we did some good work with Honorable Biwott, because at some point we got an additional grant for COVID. And that COVID response grant, we actually did it across all the counties in the NOREB. So that is it. But then let me just mention that the Uwajibikaji na Maendeleo project is majorly around climate change. So our work is around assisting communities generally to prioritize the areas on climate change that they would want. One, the duty bearers, which we are happy to have today, respond or prioritize in those budget planning processes, in the CIDP. So in the 2 counties, and I believe the CEO can attest that the communities there are a bit more engaged in either prioritizing, either they want water, they want health, they want whichever area they want. The climate change is affecting them. So Uwajibikaji na Maendeleo, as I said, is a growth from the other 2-3 years. And in those years, what we were focusing on is multipurpose cash transfer because of the drought. I think 2020, 2021, there were challenges really led to increased vulnerability, not only to climate change, but also really poverty. So the project would give some multipurpose cash transfer I remember Lake Baringo then was flooding, so some people were displaced, so they also benefited from that cash transfer. But then something else that has been really affected by climate change is agriculture, not only here but even that end. So then giving the farmers, especially in Elgeyo Marakwet, inputs and also some knowledge. Last year we went to an exchange visit in Tharaka Nithi. Tharaka Nithi is an arid county, and the farmers from Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet, yes, that is, so they went there and they came back with lessons. They are saying, you people are eating these things. Some of the food that the Tharaka people are growing, our people here are saying, you mean this is actually a good cereal that can be eaten? So there was a lot of lessons. The other main project that we have that has also grown from Coke is Turkana Resilience. Turkana Resilience is in Morulem. Morulem is right after Lokori. So Lokichar, then you take your right and you head to Lokori. You proceed, you get Morulem. So Morulem have done irrigation farming for quite a while, from 1970, but the impacts of climate change can be felt, majorly because the Kerio River that they rely on does not have enough water. So majorly our project is to assist communities to do the climate smart agriculture that then one would reduce use of water, but also providing water. So we want to sink a borehole there and also attempt a strategy that we have in churches, which we call CCMP, Church and Community Mobilization Process. We believe that can cure the issue of who is the stakeholder or who are the actors, because it helps, or it is to help me identify what are the resources that I have. Could it be the stones? Could it be the land? Could it be the small water that is there? And how do I use it to resolve the challenges that I have? So really by that we believe we can build the resilience of the people in Turkana. Other than that, there will be some inputs that is in Turkana East, the farming, there will be restocking, and also a component of the multi-purpose cash transfer was done last year, and relief food because of the drought. So I think for me that is it. I believe that partnership is very important, and that is why we are here, perhaps so that then we can build these projects to be more beneficial to more people and more community members. Thank you.
And the team from NCCK, the two of you who have spoken, are we omitting West Pokot? Sorry, I'm from Uasin Gishu, but I look at the whole. How comes you are not mentioning West Pokot? Nasikia tu nasema Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo.
In the initial cook, yes, West Pokot was very much there.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Also, it is me who didn't.
Yes, but no, for the Uagatuzi na Hakis, the projects that have come up, okay, our support, or the person who is currently delivering the same program is ADS, our Anglican partners from the same donor, that is Anglican Development Services.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
By the way, in the irrigation farming that you said in Morulem, mm-hmm, what do they irrigate?
They do a lot of maize, so we want to introduce other crops, so they do maize and sorghum. They even have developed a value addition component to their maize, so they are milling the maize. They used to, but now because of no water, they are unable to get enough maize. So there is a component of value addition that is currently ongoing, and we believe we can support. But then something else, other things that can be grown will also be introduced, like the vegetables and also other climate resilience crops.
Actually, the comment is on the last one. So you see, if you go into a lot of efforts to grow maize very expensively, there are other places that grow maize very cheaply. And maybe in some of these places where you are getting water that you can irrigate, they may get actual crops that have more value, that can even, from the resources that they get, they can buy more maize than they would have planted. And it will be good to probably assist them in terms of what else can be done. I'll tell you about our case in Uasin Gishu. So in Uasin Gishu today, the people who do farming are 50 years plus. The youth don't do farming. Did you know that statistic? The farmers are 50 years and above. So the youth don't have land to farm. So what we are doing, we are looking at focusing on high value crops that requires, say, a point of an acre, and they can have a livelihood. And I will give you one example that we are having a large conversation right now. You know about gooseberries. So we are now marketing actually gooseberries to see if we can get the conversation. In fact, even the person that I had in my office before I came here is somebody who is heading to India, and they are saying there is some tablets that can be made from gooseberries. You see, which is vitamins, certain special vitamin. I think vitamin C or something. And there is a company in India that actually makes those vitamins. And I was telling them, look, if we can get a link. You see, some of these challenges we have is linking the market, and anything can be produced. So the follow-up that I'm trying to check is, if we can have that company to come and establish their factory to make the vitamin tablets here, then we can tell the youth, plant na mpande kwa point moja kwa, unajua gooseberry kwa 1 point of an acre can have a livelihood. So so the conversation I'm trying to push to you is, as you put those initiatives, don't tell them to focus on maize. Sababu hawatatoa maize like in other areas which grows nearly naturally. Let them do something that can give them maximum value within that short period, because their climate possibly is more conducive for even some of these very rare fruits and the likes. Yeah. Back to you, Bwana CEO.
Thank you, Excellency. Before I change the topic, I would like just to input that we still have another project in Elgeyo Marakwet on pyrethrum, whereby we implement together with Kentegra and DCA, with support from DCA. This targets the pyrethrum farmers, and you remember that in Elgeyo Marakwet, the governor is so keen on pyrethrum. So we support the farmers so that we are able to promote their learning and engagement amongst the other farmers. We take them for learning visits in Nyandarua, Nakuru, and even to the pyrethrum factory in Nairobi. Also, on that, we support them to form their caucuses and also make sure that the caucuses are able to function. Lastly, we support the operationalization of laws and policies within the sector, and we are in the process of developing the CASCOM for Elgeyo Marakwet, that's County Agriculture Sector Steering Committee policy. So I didn't want to leave that before I change to governance, peace and security, which we have 2 projects. I will begin with one that we've been implementing in Turkana County. This is a project that targets women in leadership, and we implemented the project from 2019 till 2023. I think we are coming to the end of phase 2 this year. And this project targeted, the main objective of this project was to empower women and girls so that they are able to participate in leadership. The project focused on taking through the young women and even the old women and how they can be able to be leaders in their counties or be able to influence. And we had different activities under that. We are able to facilitate the FBOs, that's faith-based CSOs, and these were implemented in 2 counties, that is Kwale and Turkana.
and we were able to develop the recommendation for gender equality and women empowerment. Also worked with the duty bearers on the adoption of this recommendation made by the FBOs and CSOs. This project had a success story, and our success story is this. We were able to deliver one woman MCA in Turkana, Kanam Kemer Ward, Honorable Ruth Kuya, and the Kwale governor under this project. So that is a success that we have had as NCCK, and we look forward. The same project, as we were going on, we were able to get some funding. The project is supported by UN Women. And through this also, the past 2 months, we were given some support by the UN Women to be able to have some activities in Uasin Gishu County. We've been able to work with the gender department, national one, and even the county. In this implemented in different counties, that is Uasin Gishu, Vihiga, Bungoma, but mainly is to influence peace and security by enhancing women's influence on peace and security in our counties. And we remember Uasin Gishu comes in because of our nature of involvement in politics. Our first output is to enhance women capacity to participate in peace building. And the activity for that was to map the peace and security actors under this, and we were able to work with the County Commissioner's Office and the National Steering Committee. The other one was to sensitize women leaders on alternative justice system at the county level in this project. And output 2 was to strengthen the county and community peace structures through enhancing capacity of the women. And one, we were able to support Uasin Gishu County Gender Sector Working Group to enhance capacity in promoting WPS. And we are here with Madam Rural Women. We have worked together. Sensitization of the community peace structures in Uasin Gishu County on NAP2, on United Nations Security Council resolutions 1325 and 2250 to promote youth engagement in peace and security. Those are the activities. We have been able to engage media. You know, in anything to do with peace and security, media is very keen. And whatever they report is taken seriously. And we've been able to engage them on how to report in each and every issue that concerns peace. We have trained women in the formal and in participation in formal and informal security processes in Uasin Gishu County. We have been able to bring together CSOs. We remember that CSO networks sometimes been taken that they are just there to speak against or for, and we have been able to work together in advancing joint advocacy and coordination of this work so that we are not able to work in isolation. Lastly, we intend to have a NOREP summit involving women leaders, state and state actors for development of a common action plan for peace and building resilience. That is under the Wadada Wa Power project in Turkana and Uasin Gishu that delivered to women leaders. Finally, we have what we call Mulika Initiative, and we presented the same project last year before the new government, and this one was involvement on peace issues and peace campaigns before, during, and after elections. And our engagement was mainly using our platforms as a church to pass messages of peace. Use the platforms in social areas to be able to pass messages of peace. We were able to bring in the youths to prepare their manifestos, and they were able to present, and this became a success because you remember that the youths are used during campaigns to either do the right thing or the wrong thing. So we were able to bring in youths, and you could see NCCK all over on Sunday speaking about peace. This project also was able to deliver the peace charters, and we are happy that the sitting governor had a representative to sign the peace accord at the RCA guest house. It was a campaign period whereby it was very tight, and they were able to commit into campaigning peacefully during that period. You remember? Yes. NCCK played a very vital role in observation, election observation. And in this region, NCCK was the chair of the election platform for North Rift. And we delivered. And we were able to see the process of elections. We were able to give our comments. And we were happy that we were able even to talk to all politicians, including our sitting governor, on where we felt that there was a problem. We are witness. They were in Bomas, we were in Eldoret Polytechnic for the declaration of all the results, and we were able to verify. So this project is continuing, and now we are focusing on youth mentorship in the coming year. We want to look forward into even looking into the commitment that our leaders made during that time, the peace accord they signed, the manifestos they received. Is there anything that is going on? We're happy that the Nguzo Kumi also, some of the presentations we presented for the manifesto, others were captured in the Nguzo Kumi, especially on the ICT, if my memory serves me right, and I was keen on that. And we want now to come and sit and say, yes, we began, we have continued, where are we going? So on that note, allow me to finish there. I've hit my 2 minutes, and we look forward to a fruitful engagement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Grace. Wow, you are a real advocate. You've said so many things, actually. Let me start with the last one on ICT, actually. In Uasin Gishu, in terms of public participation, which is enshrined in our constitution, we have actually implemented a call center similar to the one with the MNOs, the Safaricom's, the Airtel. We'll be launching very soon, so that we have a platform that we can engage all the people of Uasin Gishu. You don't just wait for those sit-ins for 2 hours, 3 hours. You want to engage continuously. On the alternative justice system, we've actually signed an agreement with the judiciary in Uasin Gishu. We are giving them office space in all our regional sub-county offices. So it is good to hear from the church such kind of push, because you see, the people that you serve, the people that county government serve, the people that national government serve, the people that all these partners here serve, is the same mwananchi, by the way. Have you ever sat back a bit and asked yourself, because it's we serve the same people. On the issue of probably I needed to get something on. You are very tangible on all the others, but on the illiteracy, I didn't really pick any particular initiative. You'll answer when I finish on the issue of illiteracy, because if somebody is still having challenges of illiteracy, it is like the first door is closed for that group of persons. They are not able to get access to any other kind of support. On the issue of empower women and girls, I personally seem to have a small issue. I took statistics in Uasin Gishu, and we take a lot of I'm sure most of you know that I've been dealing with the issue of Finland and Canada and what and what. We take a lot of students abroad in Uasin Gishu, other than Finland and Canada. There is a lot of Australia, Canada, all that. So I did a simple statistic. I think in Kenya for the last 20 years, we focused so much on the girl child that we have actually left the boy child. So the statistics right now, when I took a sample, I have 7 out of 10 girls going abroad. So we are nearly reaching a point where we are messing up with the very family that we want to build in future. Because who will be the head of family? So we need to really, the message I've been giving actually to our political meetings is to tell them, si hawa watoto wote ni wetu. Let's love them equally. Let's have 50-50. And I believe the spirit of supporting the culture was to reach 50. Reverend Grace, tell me straight, purpose, don't go beyond 50.
Your Excellency, allow me to come in there and request that we come back to that. Only 3 men have spoken. The other man is about to go to Lodwar right now, which is Dominic. I'd like Your Excellency to request that as part of that balancing gender, and to also allow Dominic to get to Lodwar.
Dominic, you know, you used to sit in this office that I sit. So can you start with that comment first about the youth, you know, the boy and the girl. And lastly, you will still answer me the illiteracy initiative letter. But I want to say this thing about peace. And I want to equate it as an engineer. All of us, we drive a car, sindio? Kuna gari. If you really want to know the importance of peace, leo enda kwa hiyo gari yako, go and remove the oil and drive the car without the oil. Then you will know the importance of oil. Similarly, peace. You will only know the importance of peace in its absence. That's why we really need to really pass this. It's elusive, yeah. Yes. So even oil is very slippery. So that's how I look at peace, actually. And I remember when we were campaigning, we used to say in Uasin Gishu, let me repeat it here. We used to say in Uasin Gishu, the only hotspot that we will have is the Wi-Fi hotspot. And we are implementing them now. Bwana Biwot, karibu sana. I'm sorry you are catching a flight.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency, CEO and colleagues. I'm equally happy to be here today and to apologize for leaving early. I'm actually driving to Lodwar, not by flight. And someone told me you need to leave Eldoret at 1 if you have to be safe. Yes, I did that 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So, first of all, I am happy to be back to Norep. This is my original home, and really celebrate the progress we see in Norep so far, chaperoned by my friend Godfrey and the team at the Secretariat and the partners and the support from the political class, especially the governors and the deputy governors. So today, basically, I would want to focus more on what has brought us here. And the UK in the North Rift is well distributed along most of the counties, save for 2, I think Trans Nzoia and Nandi, those counties that are online, and hoping to see something happening in those counties. But in terms of Baringo, we have a social accountability project supported by the Kenya Devolution Program. Reinvent have been there for a while, supporting security and peace and development. Elgeyo Marakwet equally is a very, very progressive county for us, with the Sustainable Urban Economic Development project. Beginning of this year, we came down to Elgeyo Marakwet to support establishment of a potato processing factory. Under that, we look forward to having a groundnut processing factory, again coming up, and a sports complex, sports academy within Elgeyo Marakwet and a SWADE. Uasin Gishu County equally has SWADE, Sustainable Urban Economic Development, where we supported the town to have an urban economic plan. SWADE equally is coming along with 3 other line projects. an avocado pack house here in town, and I believe that I think the first investor has come. An amazing factory in Go, and we are trying to see how much we can secure to support that, and a cool chain I know that's where the DG comes from. And 2 weeks ago, under our devolution program, we are coming to Uasin Gishu again, Eldoret, to support on-source revenue mobilization. We did an introductory meeting 2 weeks ago to the governor, and we hope this can pick and see Uasin Gishu expand its on-source revenue. Turkana and West Pokot, we have an education for girls program ongoing, and a Pamoja project, which is a cash transfer project for basically Turkana and the refugees in Kakuma and Kalobeye. Samburu, again, Reinvent has a huge footprint, and a unique one that just ended was the Kazi Sasa initiative, which was an apprenticeship program supported by a private sector here in Uasin Gishu called Eldo Hub, which is a tech hub in nature and supporting young people to use technology in supporting businesses to thrive, and equally working for international companies. And it's a program that we look at scaling for the entire region, but of course, with the current resources, we are looking at supporting that. In NOREP, and when we talk of NOREP, we are talking of the NOREP Secretariat through NCCK, something that is so dear to us, and I'm so happy to see Phyllis and Grace here and their teams, is through our Deepening Democracy program or project. We started CORE, Community Resilience in Kerio River Ecosystem, and it has told somewhere, quite progressive, but has told somewhere. And actually this morning we are seeing an opportunity to restart this conversation with the British High Commission, and it's possible for us to advance that, finishing what we started. Through Ahadi and also the Kenya Devolution Program, we supported NOREP to establish and finish its economic blueprint, and I'm happy to see it on the tables today, which is basically the document that sets the strategy for NOREP. Equally, Reinvent supported NOREP to carry out a conflict analysis of the region and establish a peace and security framework for the region, and equally supported the NOREP Peace Summit in Kitale, which we are supposed to do a follow-up, really, so that we don't lose on the gains that we made out of it. We have also supported NOREP to draft the NOREP bill, then through Ahadi, and KDP is coming in to support NOREP in engaging the county assemblies. I think this is new. It's a new thing to ensure that the NOREP bill is passed. It has been lingering for a while. It's going to almost 10 years. The NOREP bill just hanging with a lot of. We keep promising that this thing will be passed next time. This thing will be passed next year, this year, but it's going to 10 years. And I know in the next few weeks, we have made available resources to support the county assemblies and the NOREP Secretariat to sensitize the county assemblies on the bill. And hopefully, maybe within the shortest time possible, we are able to pass the NOREP bill, because it's important that NOREP is founded within the law. Very, very important. It has to be a legal entity. And all what is happening now will not really make sense if NOREP is not is not a legal entity. And we'll be very happy to support that. I know part of what the CEO had requested was an expert to support that bit of the bill bit, and I think equally that bit of the request has also been received and accepted, and we'll be working on the same. Then the gender agenda in NOREP is growing and coming up very well under Reinvent, and we are happy that as UK we are seeing this happen. So in terms of climate change, nationwide, I think UK has contributed about 6 billion Kenya shillings to FLOCA, which should benefit almost all the counties in Kenya. The green energy transition has not come to NOREP, but we are doing it in another block, in the Narok Kajiado economic block. The Green Business Building Initiative is also coming up through the national government, and so many others. I mean, the UK portfolio within Kenya is big. But talking about the North Rift, I really want to commit ourselves as the UK and FCDO to support NOREP, along partnering with other partners seated here, to establish this climate action framework. Why I have to commit it is because when I left NOREP, back in the office, I think 6 months into my being in the UK office, I was asked to still offer 10% of my time to NOREP. And when we sat with the CEO, I think I committed myself to two or three thematic areas. One was on climate action, which we are discussing today. Peace and security was the other, and investments and enterprise and investments. So this is a sector that I will fall in squarely and would be very, very happy to support. So two things. One is in terms of coke. We'll be very happy to advance that conversation with NCCK and NOREP and ensure that we finish what we have started. And out of what we agreed today from this meeting, in my absentia, we should be able to pick on what we will take forward as a team, but we assure you of our support to that effect. What we are looking at more is enhanced and improved coordination on climate action. Every county today discusses climate action. Climate action equally is a cross-cutting issue. And whether we like it or not, it has to be approached at a group or at a regional level. Because even if Nandi did extremely well in climate action and Uasin Gishu is doing nothing, it will be watered down. Even if Uasin Gishu did extremely well and Elgeyo Marakwet or other counties are doing nothing, still nothing will happen, because it is something that has to be covered over a wider range of space or scope for it to make the impact that is desired. So we'll be very, very happy to support the recommendations that come out of here, my personal support and the support from the office, to ensure that we are able to support NOREP to be a pillar of climate action in Kenya. For those counties who are also interested in OGP, Open Governance Partnership, it's something that is new. Kenya has made a huge commitment in this in the last conference. The UK also has made a huge commitment into that, and we'll be very happy to see the progress that comes out of OGP in this region. And when we hear about a call center and the others, we'll be very happy to see how we can plug into what the initiatives that counties are putting in place to advance open governance. Otherwise, I really want to say thank you so much. I will stand here to advocate for the boy child. I'm sorry to digress, but being a leader from this region and a boy, I think the girl child has been over-empowered. We need to turn our eyes to the boy. The boy is suffering. He is now becoming a thief. Some of them are becoming cattle rustlers. Some of them are becoming chokoras. Some of them are consuming alcohol and drugs because we think the boy child is just the boy who is supposed to survive on his own, and we have accorded a lot of tender care to the girl. I'll be very happy to see what we can do to save the boy child. And we have to go back to the basics. We have to go back to the basics. It doesn't have to be very, very complicated, but we have to go back to the basics, including, Your Excellency, how we circumcise them back at home. Yeah, we have to go back to the basics. We really have to go back to the basics because we are losing the boy. We are really losing the boy. And the girl is getting empowered. And even if you looked at the social media today, the girls are very active. The girls are getting more daring. And because the boy has lost power, he is resorting to violence. He's resorting to violence. Yeah, because he knows he has the physical energy to do other things, so he cannot argue anymore. He cannot argue. He does not have the language. He does not have the knowledge. He does not have. Everything is lost. So yeah, so we have to look at how to save the boy from what's happening. Otherwise, we will lose it. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Your Excellency, allow me to. Okay, I don't usually disagree with Dominic on a lot of things, so I wouldn't add anything there. But I'd like to request Dominic, in your personal capacity, there was something we did. There's something that Dominic did when he was CEO of NORAB. It was around the Global Climate Fund. I would really appreciate if you can bring everyone up to speed.
I lost that, yeah, and I had noted it somewhere. Yeah, when I was the CEO then in NORAB, we started a special program on climate change. And there is this Global Climate Fund. It's called GCF. GCF is a fund that is made available by the developed countries, the countries that play a bigger role in polluting the environment. These are the main drivers of climate change globally. Its headquarters is in Seoul, Korea. So what we did as NORAB, and we had gone a long way, was to develop a concept to try and get this fund to support climate action in the member counties, the 8 member counties. And it was a huge amount of 9.8 billion Kenya shillings. We started it. We had gone a long way. We had gone to the Treasury. The Treasury had issued us a no objection to mobilize those resources to Kenya. We had involved all the stakeholders, including the CSOs, in climate action and environmental conservation. And the national agent for the Green Climate Fund in Kenya is the Treasury. We were at the level where we needed to appoint an accredited entity. The GCF has institutions, entities called accredited entities who will manage the resources or basically handle the processes on behalf of the Green Climate Fund, which I think this is a conversation we need to revisit because the progress was massive, was good, and it was headed in the right direction. At some point, we were invited to an interministerial forum in Mombasa. We defended it, and we still came out as one of the best models. We'll be very happy, really, if we can revisit this and follow up. I think we had even reached a point where we had a contact in Korea, in the headquarters, just to support NOREP achievement in this space, and we'll be very happy to support. And Godfrey, thank you so much for reminding me. It is a very huge thing for NOREP to lose. 9.8 billion grant, you know, is not a loan. It's a grant that is given to you to fight against climate change. It will be a huge thing. Asante sana.
First, on behalf of a few, I think 2 months ago, no, it was in May, just before the signing, we had separately approached His Excellency as an engineer. So when you speak about the open governance,
yes,
I would like to request, when you have time, it would be good to just chat, because this is our point person on ICT.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so that
wonderful.
Probably is a different,
No, thank you very much, Dominic. That is, I wish we had more time that we appreciate really most of you, the many things that you do actually. I hope when we do the conference, is it a conference in February? If we can look at some of these presentations that we are doing in terms of not just numbers in financial, but if you can find a way of quantifying the reach to the populace, that would be an amazing, because the initiatives you have done are far and wide. And if you can talk about the reach, so that we are not focusing on which county and what we say, within NOREP, we have managed to reach out of a population of X, we have reached this population. That would be an amazing thing during the conference. Thank you very much. In fact, talking about the youth, and before he leaves, I'll allow you to ask him something. So let me finish I'll allow you, Mutor. So, unaona wewe ni usijali, you can still, lakini ubaya load wa mbali sana. How many hours is it by road? 6, so it's nearly like going to Nairobi. Oh yeah, because of the escort. Okay, I'll be very quick. So in terms of, I know we'll discuss about the open governance program maybe separately. I have your contacts. There is a program that we are at policy level in Uasin Gishu County, looking at the youth, where we introduce a 2-year program where we enroll. It is very similar to what Kakamega has done, and we want to focus to the 18 and 35-year-old, that we give them a program of 2 years, and during the period, in the week, when we have enrolled them, they will be working for us for 2 days as casual labor. Then 3 days, they have to register in our vocational training centers, and they will only be there for 2 years. And during the 2 years, it's not renewable. During the 2 years, they go to school. We give them a small stipend, and we pay NHIF for them, but they must go to school. And this is an area that, because of budgeting issues, we'll be starting with 1,000. But we are actually looking for partners who can assist us to increase the numbers. And we're not talking about giving them huge allowances. Just in Kakamega, they are giving them 8,500 a month, but they have NHIF. They have NHIF, so we want to introduce something similar. We are at policy level. Any partner that would be willing to look into, because that's addressing straight the youth, and it will be both the boy and the girl, Reverend Grace. So let me ask Mutual, please, Mutual. See you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I was amazed by your presentation, but I want to say I have been handling the bandits, and we have baptized them to call them Hadas. I have them from Baringo, Vokot, Tugen, West Vokot. I don't have them from Turkana. These young men are asking us, after we abandoned, we are in ceasefire now. Ceasefire. The guns are there. They're asking us, how can you help them to settle? Because I've been depending on this. If you don't have money, you steal and sell, you get money. So we've been approaching several of these organizations to have them do farming, to grow, I like the way you say, gooseberries. From there we are doing high value crops. Potato, tomatoes, then onions and watermelon. And it's actually amazing. They're really waiting. You know, we told them we can. Last week I was with around 47 of them in Yatta. There's a Yatta farm in Machakos, where they witnessed a young man selling in half an acre onions, and he got 791,000. And the following day, 1.2 million cash. The guys were wild. I want to call the partners in this room, but let us focus there. What I'm doing now, we are doing what you call dialogue. We are discussing with them. But now we're saying now we have agreed. The growing of high value crops, let alone the maize, the millet. That is traditional. They want where they compete. How many tons of onions do you sell? So that is the only way you can. So what I'm doing is I'm pacifying their minds. Over time, because the guns are there. Over time, the guns will be irrelevant because they will have gotten a place to engage. So that is what I wanted to say. And then for you, Mheshimiwa, Bwana Governor, I like your intervention. I want to tell you, have a conversation about the youth in this country. And the youth is the young men. Otherwise, when we leave them this way, they have been stigmatized. So when we leave them like that, over time they will turn to be violent. And personally, I call it a time bomb revolution. If you don't take care of these guys, they can easily cause a revolution in this country. You can have that conversation at higher level. Because we also told them, we have in Elgeyo Marakwet to achieve program where we have put them into skill-oriented training, and then we give them the tools. World Vision helped us. Now the problem would be the seed capital to set up the kind of business they really want to do. So, and I was just saying, before he leaves, let's focus on this youth, and especially the boy child. Really, there was a problem. Somebody say alternative justice system. I want to tell you a very shocking story. In Kerio Valley now, these guys, kuna vijana wamekunywa bangi, and the community is worried. What is happening? So they are because the police cannot arrest anybody now. The police are not even bothered. The chiefs are not even bothered. So there's a criminal here. They know it's a criminal. Arrest this guy. They cannot. So what has happened? The community are coming up with alternative justice system. Let me tell you, they have killed them. They have killed young men, stoning them in public. And they have even sat in meetings and resolved. Any Wajakoya, we finish. The other day they were talking about 100 of them. And I did a conversation in the radio. I told them, please don't kill our people. They can still change. They can be very good. And they told me, Mutual, stop. And mami amani. See what tunamaliza. Look at how the community is already hostile. Very hostile. I had a lady talking about women in peace and security. I want to tell this house that the women are the greatest cat rustlers. Those are the greatest bandits. If you can take an intervention to deal with them psychologically, these guys are cheering up. I mean, they are part of this. Imagine a woman lets the son go or the husband, and the following day, she's milking a cow that she didn't have. Who is the bandit in this case? She's a bandit. So I wonder, our interventions, we really look at what can we touch, something we can really touch. Thank you very much. As you leave, I will need to talk to you privately. Thank you.
Take his contact so that you can. So, Bwana Dominic Johnny Massis, thank you very much for. I think we should. I mean, this conversation can go on and on and on. I listen to him. The youth in Kenya today is both an opportunity and a threat. If you do any SWOT analysis, normally the opportunity and the threat are there's a thin line. depends on what you do. So I totally hear what you are saying. But when you engage them, it's good to ask them how they want to be assisted. You know, sometimes if it comes from them and you assist, they own. Yeah. You know, Bwana Mutual, sometimes I've asked myself, with the national government, you know, right now we are spending a lot of resources with the military. So instead of doing that, why don't we, even as NOREB, go to national government and say, instead of spending all these, why don't we even say at one go, employ 1,000 of them into the military?
Your Excellency, let me request to release Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic. Asante. Jani Masis. Jani Masis.
Yeah, and then the next person is the...
And I need to...
Yes, the last person.
For me. Okay,
yeah.
Please. Yeah.
So
okay.
The last head of an organization here is Sally. Sally has just joined us in Eldoret.
Okay. Oh, karibu sana.
Rural Women Peace Links. We had someone else there, and then she went to the US. Those 7 out of 10 women who go abroad to study. And then we managed to get hold of Sally from a different county to rebalance.
Okay.
Yes. So Sally is the executive director of the Rural Women Peace Links.
Okay.
I think after she presents, we'll also allow you to step out, and then we can close on the way forward.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Bwana Godfrey. His Excellency, all protocols observed. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think before I begin, I like asking questions, so I would want to ask a question. What do you know about Rural Women Peace Link? What are we famous for? I will pick one from each organization representing. So allow me to begin with mobilizing women. Yes.
I'll speak from where I come from, because the Rural Women Peace Link have supported us when it comes to bringing women together to be peace agents. Number 2, we also have girls who are those teenage girls who got pregnant on the way, and the Rural Women Peace Link have been so supportive to take them back to school. Yeah.
That's great. One person from Reinvent, the only person from Reinvent.
Yeah, the only person.
Gender justice.
Gender justice.
Yeah. Body cultures and communities, and sensitizing the community on gender-based violence.
Thank you. From NOREB? Peace building. Thank you. Rightly put. In the 10 counties that we work in, where we are all engaged, we have 4 programs, which is peace building and conflict resolution. We have the girl education support, leadership and governance, and women and economic livelihood, which is also women and empowerment. And it just so happens that in these areas where we are all in, it's interesting when you notice how in all the continents and in all the regions and countries, the northern hemisphere, where we are all in, is an ASAL region. And so whenever we talk about conflict, the root causes of some of these conflicts is resource-based conflict. And so, as Bwana Mheshimiwa has rightly put, we cannot be engaging in silos, number 1. We cannot be talking about tokenism in terms of representation, because these are some of the reasons why we have exacerbated conflicts, because people feel we are still not getting it. And for me, I believe I'm a firm believer of intentional partnerships and collaboration, which is why we are all here together. And when we look at how we are coming up with solutions and engaging the communities and engaging our stakeholders at the grassroots level, we are looking at coming up with nature-based solutions, because at the end of the day, we are going back, just as Mheshimiwa has said, going back to the basics. What is it that we are missing? What is it that we are doing wrong? Or what is it that we are not incorporating at the table to enable sustainable? How much are we complementing each other so that we can actually say that with this union, we were able to do this much, and as he has rightly put, because we cannot talk about change if we are not able to quantify this particular change. That at this particular time, we were at 56% or 32%, but then with our union, we are at 72%. It is good to have donors and partners on board, because they're able to now actually even give a record of how much intentional collaboration has actually brought change. And right now, when you look at how much change has come along, especially next year, we have the CSW 68, and organizations and regions are actually looking towards giving their input on what we have done since the last CSW meeting convening. And for me, my question will be, with our union, will we have a seat at the table at the CSW 68, such that we can actually say, if we're having one person represent the NOREB region, this is how much we've been able to do. And when we talk about issues regarding research, right now, when you're having evidence-based research, we're able to now bridge the gap between academia and our grassroots organizations and the work we are doing, so that people are able to see the effect of the changes that we are making. And with this, I want to sum up what we've been able to do as a Rural Women Peace Link. And to be honest, I'd say what we've been able to do in partnership with NCCK, with Reinvent, with Elgeyo Marakwet County, with NOREB, the partnership has actually enabled us to actually work together and have this kind of change.
So, request everyone to.
Group photo? Group photo? Yes, group photo. Yes.